story time with any Gina.
My name is Kofi, and I grew up in Ngoya village, a place nestled between rolling hills and lush fields. From a young age, I heard stories of the ghosts that haunted our nights. The elders spoke of them in whispers, their faces filled with fear. They said the ghosts were the spirits of those who had never found peace, wandering the dark looking for something they lost. I remember my first encounter vividly. I was just 5 years old, lying in bed one night, when I heard a soft weeping outside my window. It sounded like a gentle breeze rustling the leaves, but underneath it was a deep sorrow. I peeked out and saw a shadowy figure, a woman in a flowing white dress. Her hair covered her face, but I could feel her sadness like a weight in the air. I was too scared to call for my parents, so I pulled the blankets over my head, wishing it all away. As I grew older, the visits became more frequent. Sometimes I would hear voices calling my name, whispering secrets of the past. "Kofi, Kofi," they would say, "help us find peace." I learned to be brave, but the other villagers were terrified. They would lock their doors tight at night, fearing what might come for them. The village elders called a meeting one evening. They gathered everyone in the community center, where the fire flickered dimly and cast long shadows on the walls. Elder Abina, with her wise eyes and silver hair, stood up first. "We must do something," she shouted, her voice shaking. "These ghosts are tormenting our people. We cannot sleep. Our crops are failing." The villagers murmured in agreement, fear etched on their faces. They spoke of sleepless nights, of shadows dancing in the corners of their homes, and of the unsettling cries that echoed through the darkness. It was clear that something had to be done. The elders decided to try many things. First, they offered food and drinks at the edge of the village, hoping the spirits would be satisfied. They placed bananas and palm wine under the old baobab tree, a sacred spot where the ancestors were said to gather. But the next morning, everything was untouched, and the ghosts continued to haunt us, their cries echoing louder. Next, the villagers decided to hire a powerful healer, someone who could chase away the spirits. A tall man named Ngoya came to our village, carrying bundles of herbs and charms. He was known far and wide for his skills. That evening, the villagers gathered around a large fire as he danced and chanted ancient words, swirling his arms in intricate patterns. The flames flickered, casting strange shapes on the walls of the village. The villagers watched, hopeful, their eyes shining with anticipation. But when night fell, the ghosts returned, even more restless than before. Despair hung over Ngoya village. The elders called for another meeting, but this time, the mood was heavy. "What can we do?" asked one villager, tears in her eyes. "Our children are afraid to sleep. We have tried everything, yet nothing works." I sat quietly among them, my heart racing. I knew I was different. I felt a strange connection to the spirits. So one night, as the villagers huddled together in fear, I decided to confront the ghosts myself. I felt a pull, as if they were calling me. Gathering my courage, I stepped out into the moonlit night. The air was cool, and the stars twinkled above me like 1,000 eyes watching over me. I walked to the baobab tree, where I had seen the spirits gather before. "Why are you here?" I called out, my voice trembling. "What do you want from us?" To my surprise, the shadows began to swirl, and the weeping woman appeared before me. Her form was ethereal, shimmering in the moonlight. "We seek peace," she said, her voice soft like a gentle breeze. "We are lost, trapped between the worlds. We need someone to remember us." I thought about what she said. The villagers had forgotten their stories, their history. They were so afraid that they had lost the love and respect for those who had come before. "What can I do to help you?" I asked, my heart racing. "Tell our stories," she whispered. "Remember us, speak our names, and we will find peace." With newfound determination, I ran back to the village. My heart pounded in my chest as I gathered everyone around the fire. The flickering flames illuminated their worried faces. "Listen!" I shouted, my voice steady. "I spoke to the ghosts. They want us to remember them. They need their stories told." The villagers looked at me with a mix of disbelief and hope. "How can we remember those we fear?" asked Elder Abina, her brow furrowed. "By sharing who they were," I replied. "Let us honor their lives, not their deaths." That night, under the blanket of stars, I began to tell the tales of those who had lived in Ngoya long ago. I spoke of our ancestors, their dreams, their struggles, and their love for the land. I told of brave hunters, wise women, and children who laughed by the riverbank. The villagers listened, their faces softening as they remembered the past. The stories buried in their hearts, As I spoke, I could feel the air change. The whispers faded, and the shadows grew lighter. That night, for the first time in many moons, the ghosts did not visit us. They had found peace, and when morning came, the sun shone brighter than ever. From that day on, I made it my mission to share the stories of our ancestors. The villagers joined me, gathering each evening to tell tales around the fire. Mothers shared lullabies their own mothers had sung. Fathers told of great battles fought for our land, and children laughed as they played out the stories of old. The ghosts no longer roamed our nights. They had found their rest, and in remembering them, we also found a deeper connection to our village and to each other. As the seasons changed, Ngoya village thrived once more. The fields grew lush with crops, and laughter filled the air. I could feel the spirits smiling down on us, their presence now a gentle warmth rather than a chilling shadow. One evening, as I sat by the fire with my friends, I felt a light breeze brush past me. It was comforting, like a gentle hug. I smiled, knowing that the spirits were still with us, but now they were happy. I realized that honoring our past had brought our community closer together. Years later, I became a storyteller in Ngoya. I shared our tales not just with my village, but with travelers who passed through. I learned that every place has its stories, and every person carries the memories of those who came before. The ghosts had taught me that love and remembrance could overcome fear, and so I grew up in a village filled with life, laughter, and stories shared around the fire. I learned that the past is not something to be feared but embraced. In Ngoya village, the ghosts became a part of us, their memories woven into the fabric of our lives, reminding us that love has the power to heal and connect us all.
Please click on the subscribe button and the notification button to get notified when we drop new stories. Thank you.